what's up? So, we're back again. If you don't know me, hi, I'm Paul. And since you're here, you should like and subscribe. I won't tell you to comment because you don't do that. So, but other than that, this is gonna be a story time, and I will be talking about the time I found out my dad cheated on my mom, the process of it, and then the time he almost put his hands on me. We have a special surprise. And then look, I got a little coffee. The thing was, is because I ordered it online and I went to go pick it up. The coffee looked way different online. And so I was kind of disappointed, but it still tastes good. Wow. 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 What we're gonna try is this. It has chocolate. I'm not really a fan of like chocolate, but it's pretty good. But anyways, so this all happened 2 years ago. Think about it. I want you to think about it. So this happened 2 years ago. My dad, he came to my room, and then cause pretty much I was a tech guru in the family. So whenever someone had like a phone problem, they'd come to me. So he was having a little issue. And then someone texted him. And I was like, who's that? And so I was reading the messages. And it was some homegirl. And then my dad was like, where are my pictures? And then she was just like, I'm shopping at Walmart. Can you wait? And all that. And I was like, what? So I decided to look at his browsing history. And then I found out that he was like looking for escorts and all that. And so pretty much, yeah. I ended up telling my sisters, and we didn't want to tell our mom at first because, it was our dad. And so eventually we did. And disclaimer, if you think your dad is cheating on your mom, he probably is. And you should go through his phone. Because dads are not really high tech. So they won't know how to like delete their browsing history or their conversations and whatnot until you teach them. So go look. And so we ended up telling our mom. She didn't react to it at first. She was just like, wow. And then like she was feeling sad at first. And then my sisters, they confronted him, and then we had like a whole audio recording. I still have it on my phone. And then he pretty much just like, he was denying it at first until he confessed. So yeah, so they confronted him. During this time, it's like I was the star pupil to my dad. Like he always like any problem, he always came to me and he will always talk good about me. So when it came to like speaking up or defending myself, I never really had the heart to, and until later on. And then he never wanted to talk to our mom simply because, he's guilty and he got caught. So later on, they started to talk again, but like not like as lovers, because their love died years ago. Pretty much my mom's mindset is that she was still with him because of us, and she didn't have to be, but anyways. So yeah. And then pretty much he was like gassing it. He was like they're lying. And then he was like, he didn't cheat. He was like, they don't have no proof. Well, I had a recording and, I showed my mom. But, my mom is very gullible. And so he just kept repeating himself all the time to the point where she actually started to believe him. And luckily, I was the only one there. And, right now it's just me and my mom. So, I kept telling her, I was like, you need to stop believing him. I was like, he's just doing that. So, and, he's an illegal immigrant. And, my mom's a citizen. So pretty much the whole time, I was like, he's only doing that so that he can get citizenship from my mom. And guess what? Well, I'll explain that later. So pretty much, yeah. And then my sister ended up calling the chick he was texting. And then, she pretty much felt guilty. She's like sent him all the messages. And then he ended up sending her nudes. And then, we saw his pee-pee. That shit was nasty. Like, oh. Pretty much. And then my mom, she went through his bank statements. And then she saw that, he was like going out to spas, nail salons, taking out like $300 or $500 a week. And then, you know, he will always claim that he'll be broke until we found out why. Because he's spoiling these bitches. Pretty much with one of them, he wanted to be the father to her kids. And I was like, what the okay. That was pretty much it. And then, well, obviously, I live in a new location because they sold a house. And so at first he didn't want to sell the house. You know, he would just be like, "Oh no, you gotta stay with me. We're married and whatnot." And you know, it's because you know he was a toxic man, pretty much. And then we sold the house. He got his 50-50. They got 50-50. And then after that, like, he never bothered to hit up my mom and whatnot and whatever. They're still married, but like my mom is in the process of divorcing him. Now we're gonna try this. That tastes like lemon and honey, but whatever. So pretty much we're finally free. What was I gonna say? And so, you know, the time where we almost sold a house, that last month, he was trying to be out of honor. He was trying to kiss her. And then what I found disgusting is that because we only had one car. So, and then pretty much I use that car now, like when I have to go out or go to school, because my mom, she bought herself another car. And, you know, it's a car that she always wanted because when she had this car years ago, she got in a car accident. And so I saw the same car online and they were selling it. And I was like, ooh, look. And, you know, she got happy once again. What I found disgusting is that because we practically needed two cars because she works, like, the days I went to school was, like, the days she was working. And so, my dad, so he was like, he'll give her his car, the one he's not paying off anymore. He was like, he'll give her that if she ends up sleeping with him. And I was like, ew, that is disgusting. I was like, the fact that, you know, and look, he will go out at night a lot of times. And, you know, you wouldn't go out at night unless if you were doing something nasty, especially after hours. And this happened when, like, my mom, she wouldn't be home. Like, he'll go out, or if, like, she ended up sleeping over at her friend's house, like, he will go out. And so, you know, I was always the one, at home. And, you know, it was just me. So I knew he was going out to do nasty shit. So he was doing that. And, you know, even after he got caught, he was still doing it. Like, he took a little break and then he started doing it again. So, and then, it was pretty nasty. But yeah, but look, the girl he was talking to, that was the second one. The first girl he was talking to, he claimed, because he told my sister, he claimed that all they did was oral and then sex. So that was pretty nasty. And then what else? And then now she's in jail. So for what reason. So he's been doing this, and he's been, like, ever since we found out 2 years ago, he's been doing that for 4 years. And he's still, I know his whole ass is still doing it. Am I disappointed? Yes, because when you're married, you're vowing to be faithful to your partner. If you can't do that, then just divorce. And that's the thing. He was doing that, and he was claiming that he did nothing wrong. And let me tell you, because he has coworkers that think they know the law. In reality, they don't. They're stupid. Because, you know, I took paralegal classes. In all reality, my mom would not be in the same position she is now if I wasn't there. Because all the kids, all my siblings, they're out of the house. And I was the only one there. And so, and then I went a whole year without talking to him. And I was slowly starting to build a relationship with him because, like, he was giving me things. And, you know, I was like, okay, that's thoughtful. And, you know, I never spoke a single word to him in a year. And, you know, he was still living with us. Until one day that all ended. And look, my mom, she's talking to her high school lover that she left. She left him because she wanted to come to America. And then I find it kind of weird and cute because she blames him that she wouldn't have been in this position if he would have came with her, or like he would have tried to be, you know, a lover. But you know, he's trying now, and I find it very sweet. But you know, he's kind of, you know, he's kind of old, but whatever. So, and then my dad, he ended up finding out, and look, my dad is nosy. So he would like end up like he would like sneak in the living room and try to listen to my mom's conversation because she'll be outside because my mom had no privacy. And so pretty much he was just like, oh, like people are telling him that pretty much he was saying that people are telling him that my mom is talking to a high school lover, but no one knew that. No one knew that at the time. So and so one day, what was it? And so one day, he came into her room, and you know this was my breaking point because as of this point, I never stood up for my mom, and so this day, it's not that I was scared to. It's just because if you know me, I'm not really one to speak my word, like to speak out because you know all my life I pretty much had others speaking up for me. So, and you know, I wasn't talking to him, so I was like, okay, I was like, I can do this. And I was building up the courage to like actually like budge into the conversation and, you know, just like try to talk to him. The thing that pissed me off was that he brought the Lord's name in vain into it. He was like, oh, I know you're talking. He was like, I know you're lovingly talking to your high school sweetheart. And then he was like, excuse me. And then he was like, oh, I know. He was like, God loves me because I found out. And then I was like, okay, first of all, look, I'm not religious, but I do pray. And so I was like, oh, hold on. I was like, I know that's not how that works. And so pretty much I was like, okay, I'm gonna step up. So I went into the room. And then I was like, no. And I was like, you need to calm down. I was like, you need to stop. I was like, what mom is doing, I was like, she's not doing nothing wrong. She's not having sex with him. And I was like, she's just talking to him. And then he was like, no, he was like, she's wrong. And I was like, no. I was like, what you did was wrong. I was like, you out here sleeping with bitches left and right. And I was like, and you're still doing that. And then he was like, no, I'm not. He was like, you don't have no proof. And I was like, that's the thing. Like, my dad, he's like very stubborn. He'll be like, oh, you don't have no proof. Or where's the proof? And bruh, but nah. And so, he was just like, what the fuck, whatever was that? And then, okay, and then this is when he started getting mad. I was like, you're just mad that someone else is showing her love that you don't show anymore. But when I said that, he got mad and he started to raise his voice. And then, one thing led to another. And then, he was getting closer to me. Like, this is the part where he almost put his hands on me because he kept getting closer to me. And I didn't like that. So I was backing up. And, you know, I kept backing up until I went to the kitchen. And so he was like, he brought up the fact that he was like, I don't pay bills. And then I was like, oh, I do pay bills. He was like, what bills you pay? And I was like, I pay the water bill and the internet bill. And he didn't know that. And I was like, oh, you didn't know that? And I was like, I've been paying those for months now. And I was like, if you want, I can cancel it. Because I was like, that's not my problem because that's coming out of my money. My money that no one else knew that I was getting. So, and you know, I didn't like that. And so that's the thing. Because he was like, oh, if you live here, you have to pay bills. Like, no. I was like, I'm living under my mom's house. And that's the thing. The house was under my mom's name, not his. His name was on the loan. So her name was by herself on the house. So she's the owner of the house. He's not. And that's the thing that pissed me off because he will always be like, oh, I'm the owner of this house. No, you're not. No, baby. But see, look, if my mom would have never put him on the loan, then she would have sold that house and she would have gotten everything for it. But, you know, since he was on the loan, they had to do 50-50. And so I said that. And then he was like, he brought up the fact, he was like, you can't be talking to me like that. He was like, that's illegal. And I was like, no, it's not. And I was like, I have a right to, he was like, you don't have no right to be here. I was like, yes, I do. And I was like, under my mom's name, I was like, I do have a right to be here. And then I was like, did you know if mom divorces you? And I was like, if she divorces you before starting this house, you don't get anything from the house. I was like, did you know that? And I was like, because by law, y'all have everything together. But when when she files a divorce on you, you won't have nothing. And I said that, and he was thinking about it. I had to repeat myself again because he was like, no, that's not true. And I repeated myself again, and he was actually thinking about it. And I was like, your little friends that tell you what they know about the law. And I was like, they don't know nothing. I was like, they're stupid, and you're stupid for believing that. And then I was like, I took paralegal classes. I told him, I took legal classes. Did you know that? He was like, no, they're just books. I was like, no, I took a whole course on it. And I was like, I know the law. Well, I just said that to gas me up. But pretty much I said that. He was like, and then he threatened to call the police. I was like, go ahead and call them. I was like, what they gonna do? Because they're not gonna do nothing. And I told him. And I was like, you always claim to do something, but you never do it. Because, he's fake. I'm fake too. That's where I get my fakeness from. And, there was a point where my mom, she was holding him back. Because, he kept getting close. I'm just kidding. But nah. So, and look, because I never spoke up to him. My leg was shaking. It was. And I just kept talking back. Because, it was to the point where I kept raising my voice because he didn't allow me to talk. So I just kept cutting him off, and that shit pissed me off. But nah. And so he went out. He was like, I'm gonna go out and go bring a cop. And I was like, go ahead. So he went out and he told my mom before he left that he's gonna try to get a restraining order on me. But that's not how restraining orders work. So guess what? He came back. He looked stupid because he didn't bring anything. And I told my mom, I was like, I told you. I was like, because I know the requirements for a restraining order. And I was like, I didn't comply to none of those. So, and then I found it so funny because when he came back, my mom and him were talking. And this is what my mom told me before I went to the gym. She was like, that he ended up telling her that please don't divorce him. He was like, because if they do, they're going to send us to marriage therapy. And look, that's a whole ass lie. And I told my mom, I was like, look, I told you. And I was like, as of this point, he wants nothing with you, but he's just using you to get citizenship. And I knew that from the start. I'm not stupid. Typically speaking, I think the same way as my dad. And that's why I'm a bit toxic. Don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna lie. So that's pretty much it. We ended up moving out. So, my mom is finally happy. Well, she's not really happy until she gets a house, because now we're just living in apartments. But, she's at peace now. So I'm really glad for her. I'm still here. She told me the other day that I give her headaches. And I'm like, okay. I was like, that's not my problem. But whatever. So, yeah. And that's pretty much it. And I don't talk to him. He never hit on my mom. None of that. So he doesn't hit up none of my siblings, even the ones he was talking to. So, but that's pretty much it. So I know this is a pretty long story, but that's how it went down. So yeah, honestly, I don't wish any negativity upon anyone. But when it comes to him, from throughout the years, he's been mentally and verbally abusing my mom. I hope he does end up getting karma, because my mom, she never deserved any of that. My mom is a strong woman. She's always been there for me. I'm grateful for her. So, and then it comes down to this. So, yeah. So if anyone doesn't know about my dad, just know that throughout the years, because like I said, he's fake. So he paints an image that he's a superior dad. It really wasn't. It was just behind closed doors. He was the worst dad you can ever have. Take it how you want, because I know there's fake ass bitches out there that claiming other things, telling stories. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. But other than that, have a nice day.